Hi, folks. My name is Dylan Steven. I'm the CEO of 118 Group. If you're watching this, you're either one of our clients already, and this is just a little educational piece to continue to add value and make sure you're understanding what we offer and what you should be thinking about as a business owner or decision maker. And if you're not a client, but you're kind of evaluating the landscape, trying to understand different partners you can choose or what you need to be thinking about when it comes to investing your capital. This is a really quick crash course on intro to local SEO. I want to try and keep it under 10 minutes, just because, I understand that, we have things to do, places to be. So, I'm going to dive right in. Like I said, I'm the CEO of 118 Group. We specialize in web design and development, analytics and optimization, and lead generation. So, all of that, I'll talk about here quickly. So getting right into it, we'll cover the following in regards to local SEO. What is it? Just establish a fundamental baseline, why you should care, why you should think about investing your capital in it, the business decision, the ROI, all that stuff. And then what's involved, once you commit to it, what is, or you hire a team who's doing it, what are they doing to get this done? So, what is local SEO? Local SEO is the practice of improving your brand's visibility in your area for local queries. So, what I mean by that in terms of a local query, for example, something like web design Cambridge, um, as you can see here, we are. So, that is a local query. It has a kind of a geography tied to it, and it returns what is called here a map pack, which is local providers in the area of the person searching or in the town that they included. So what I mean by that is I could remove the town information here and just do web design, and it'll still return a local result because it's taking my IP address. And web design is Google has identified as a service, and therefore they want to match you up with a local provider. But if I can also add, as I did before, a town, word in there. And then that'll provide me the local results for that specific area. So again, it's either based on your location or it's based on the town information you're putting into the search bar. But what's important to note is you have certain things that return these local results, certain queries, certain keywords that return local results, and you have certain keyword combinations that do not return local results. So one example of this is if I did website maker, here we're going to see Wix, we're going to see Squarespace, we're going to see Weebly, we're going to see MailChimp, we're going to see GoDaddy, brands that we're never going to be able to compete with in terms of web design, just given their massive presence. But if I do website designer, that returns a local result. And then it shows the Fivers, the Upworks, the Webflows, the big brand names, but it gives the local guys a chance first to capture some of that traffic and provide their service. So there are certain keywords that work and there's certain keywords that don't work for the local map result. So a large part of this process is identifying what those keywords are and going after them. So that's kind of the high level overview of what that looks like. Why you should care? Well, if you provide a local service, it can be the main way you generate new business. For example, if you look at our analytics and our traffic acquisition, you can see that organic search drives most of our traffic over direct or referral. And direct is just if they typed it straight 118group.com straight into their browser. This is, they did some discovery through, and so obviously huge part of our business are these different local profile results. So it can be the main way you generate new business. 4 in 5 consumers now use search engines to find local info. So they're trying to do some research on local providers or local happenings or whatever, and they're doing that through Google. 3, it's a zero-sum game. So it is a race to the top. If you're not on page 1, you practically you won't get nearly the same kind of results. And there's a finite number of spots that they can put on page 1. So every time you move up, somebody moves down, or every time somebody else moves up, you move down. So it's a zero-sum game, which means it's a race. And if you're not investing in it, your competitors are, and they're outranking you. Um, and then you might be invisible if you don't invest in this or you haven't thought about this. People might, virtually you're invisible. It's like putting your business in the backwoods of Maine. It's like if you had a physical location, you're trying to sell chocolates, you're in the backwoods of Maine. It's like, well, that's not going to work for you. So, and with more consumer behavior shifting online, it's more important to put your business on Main Street. It's just page one business, Google results, map pack, top three local business providers for certain queries. So that's the why you should care at a high level. What's involved? Well, one is the local keyword selection. This is the most important part. Well, I guess maybe they're probably all equally important, but this is a data heavy component. It usually involves identifying all the possible combinations for certain things you're trying to accomplish. So you could do website development, website design, web designer, web developer. There's all sorts of combinations for anything. Home remodeling, kitchen remodeler, landscaping, arborist. In your business, there's probably dozens of keywords that you would want to capture with different combinations of words. Our job is to, or your partner's job in this space is to identify what all of those are, which ones return local results, how many people are searching for those, and what's the competition for those. Because you don't necessarily, if you're a new business and you don't have much of a presence online, you don't want to go after the most the most sought after keyword, because you're going to spend a lot of money and make little progress early on. And so you want to find a sweet spot. It's like a Goldilocks zone of good search volume. A lot of people are looking for it. Relatively low competition, which means you can start to find some success there early on, and stay motivated and stay engaged in this process, because it can be disheartening, to spend, X amount of money and X number of months and see slow progress. So local keyword selection is huge. You then need to optimize your website in accordance with those keywords. You want to make sure the right pages have the right keywords used throughout the content, the titles, the metas, the descriptions. All of that is really important. You want your website to load quickly. You want your website to look good too. I mean, you spend all this money driving people to your site, and then you're not following good conversion optimization practices. So people don't really know how to take action or where to submit a contact form, or they don't really understand how to take the next step with you. So that's where the actual website optimization and strategy component comes into play. And then lastly, the component is reputation management. And that's just, you want to look good, at a high level. Mostly when it comes to Google reviews, Google reviews play a major role in how you rank, because Google doesn't want to send its customers, which are Google search people, anybody using Google search as a client, as a customer. They don't want to match them up with a crappy provider, because then that's a reflection on them. So they're using your Google reviews to identify who is the best in this game. So you want to have more reviews than your competitors, and you want to have obviously as many 5-star reviews as possible. So it involves hustling for those. It's a surprising amount of work to track down your clients, get them the link to submit the Google reviews. I mean, that's a whole process, but it's really important. So I would say there's a lot involved in local search, regular data analysis, landing pages, blog posts, local content. But I would say at a high level, these are 3 areas you want to focus on. How to succeed: hire the right team, invest regularly, and stick it out. So hire the right team. I'm not biased in this, and this isn't me selling you on 118 group. It's just, this is a Goliath effort, and it requires skills in a lot of different domains. It requires data analytics skills, it requires design skills, it requires content skills, it requires project management skills. It's a lot of different disciplines that go into this. If you try and bootstrap it yourself, you'll probably be frustrated. It'll probably take you a lot more time. You'll probably make some mistakes that everybody inevitably makes, but a team has already made them and has learned from them. So focus on your business, focus on your customer, hire somebody to do the minutia of local SEO optimization, local search engine optimization. Invest regularly. So again, this Google does not want to make it easy for anybody to rank number one, because again, then there's no vetting process. There's no filter of who is actually dedicated to providing a good service, and who is a really well established business who will likely be able to provide for, again, Google's client. If anybody anywhere in the world can just pay, fire up a site called Boston Web Designer and rank number one, then there's no competition. There's no pushing the envelope and requiring people to differentiate and be successful. And so you're just not creating the game theory is off. You're not creating an environment in which the best rise to the top, the cream rise to the top. So part of that is Google is going to require you to invest regularly. And what I mean by that is, it can take between 6 to 12 months of regular SEO work to actually start to climb through the ranks. And so you need to pay a team on a monthly basis to do that work. And if you try and just do it for a couple months and then disappear, stop investing, and then come back a year later, I mean, you're just wasting money at that point, because you're moving, dropping, moving again, dropping, regular consistent investment for 6 to 12 months, start to see results, and then start to have the conversation around, is this the right move for your business? Stick it out. That's that's kind of intimately tied with invest regularly, but you need to stick it out. You need to commit to the long term, or again, you're going to invest a bunch of money, disappear, lose all your results, have to start over again. So stick it out, invest, for 6 to 12 months with the right team. And this is probably how they're going to approach it. So questions on this, again, try to keep this really quick. You can always email me, Dylan@118group.com, and I'd happy to schedule a call, walk through some of this stuff with you. Yeah, appreciate your time. Thank you.